We have 2 more presentations left, and our next to last presentation is KRNL Labs. Please give them a very warm welcome.
Hey, everybody.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize he had one too.
Thanks a lot. I like to walk. Great. So great to see so many people excited about entrepreneurship. So last year, there was about close to $60 billion spent on startups, investing in startups. Now, this probably is not a surprise to this community. You guys are all super excited about startups. What you may not know is close to $2 billion of that, 1.8 roughly, was spent on seed investments. So these are investments made in early stage companies, very, very small companies, pre-Series A. And in 2015, there were about 2,000 of these deals. So this is great. This is really exciting for us. It indicates that there's a healthy economy around startups. And of course, when there's a healthy economy, companies spring up to sort of facilitate some of those deals. In the case of startups, your business is really innovation, and the companies that are helping you out are oftentimes accelerators and incubators. So you may be familiar with some of these, like Y Combinator, Techstars, Idea Labs. Those are all, fairly standard names. How are they doing? Turns out they're doing pretty well. Last year, about 30% of Series A deals went to companies that came through accelerators. So this is, if you can see the red line, the trend is that these are becoming more and more popular, and more deals are going to companies coming out of these accelerators. So this is great. And that's what brings us to KRNL Labs. So KRNL Labs is a code name for a new incubator that started here in Seattle. Our focus is big data analytics and machine learning, and we're located here on campus at UW in Flucall in the co-motion space. Now, that's a strategic location for us because we're interested in building connections with the community here at UW, students and faculty in particular. But also, the campus is a magnet for people in the industry, and so it's a great place to make new connections. So we're led by Amit Mittal, the former CTO of Symantec and longtime Microsoft CVP. And we're backed by a bunch of the premier investors here in Seattle. And our goal is to start in the space that I described, big data analytics and machine learning. Our goal is to start 3 to 5, 6 companies a year. So we've got a lot of work to do. Now, every incubator is different. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about our process to kind of give you a sense of what we're doing. So we start with an internal brainstorm, and this is with our partners and investors, domain experts. We bring these people in and start just brainstorming ideas until we get a good gut feel about a few. And then we enter what we're calling the de-risking process. And this is one of the core value adds of KRNL. So for us, the de-risking generally falls along 2 tracks, business testing and tech testing. Of course, they influence each other. They're not independent, but we tend to kind of divide things up that way. And we just iterate this process, brainstorm test, until we get to a point where we really have confidence that the idea stands on its own and can be a company. At that point, we form the company, invest money, and start moving into a supporting role. And that supporting role can be lots of different things. One of the things I hear often from entrepreneurs that's valuable is connections to future funding sources. Of course, I skipped the most important part, which is all of you. So at strategic points in this process, we inject people. And again, domain experts, engineering, strategists, market analysts, whatever it takes for that idea. Every idea is different. And we bring people in to help move the ball forward. So let me give you some more concrete examples about some of the projects we're working on. So we've got a few in cybersecurity. In fact, I personally am spending a lot of my time working on an idea that's measuring the security hygiene of the entire internet. We've got some ideas in office productivity. It's ripe for a big data revolution, and in particular, one of the things we're working on is making meetings better. So for those of you that have spent time at some of the big companies, that may be relevant. With the rise of AR and VR headsets, telepresence is becoming a reality, and we've got some projects that will help people experience things a world away. And we're looking at reinventing marketplaces through computer vision because we all have these fantastic cameras in our pocket. So that's just a small example. There's a ton of stuff that we're interested in right now. If any of this has captured your imagination or you've gotten excited, there's lots of ways to get involved. Like I said, we involve people at all stages of this process. Most people end up joining in this testing phase, either on the business side or the tech side. But if you're interested, please email me, come see me after the talk. We'd love to find a way to get everybody involved. Thanks a lot. Any questions? Yes? Well, so we're keeping a little bit of a lid on things, but think of the... Yes, retail, yeah. Through investors here in the Seattle area. Yeah. Well, for those with a tech background, kernel is both, important part of a critical software system as well as the kernel of an idea. But again, that's a code name. The fund is about 9 months old, and we're going to be releasing some more information in the future.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it again for Kernel.
Thanks. I saw a few more questions. I'll be around afterwards.